Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Professor Vinti Dawar from Kurukshetra University, Kurukshetra. Today we are going to discuss the module Types of Hotel from paper Food Service Management. First of all, I'll explain the objectives to you. This lesson will enable you to understand definition of hotel, types of hotels, and different characteristics of each type of hotel. To define hotel, the word hotel has been derived from the French word hotel, coming from the same origin as hospital, which referred to a French version of a building seeing frequent visitors and providing care rather than a place offering accommodation. The term hospital comes from Latin hospes, signifying a stranger or foreigner, hence a guest. Another noun derived from this, hospitium, came to signify hospitality, that is, the relation between guest and provider of shelter, hospitality, friendliness, and hospitable reception. Hospice is thus the root for the English word host. Hotel is any establishment which provides us accommodation, meals, and other services for travelers, tourists, or other paying guests. Let's now know the history of hotels. The history of hotels date back to provision of accommodation and stable for horses in Greek and Roman civilizations. The very first hotel was opened in Exeter, England in 1768. In 1812, the famous hotel Claridge's was started in London, whose earlier name was Mivart's Hotel. In India, the first ever hotel opened was Spence at Calcutta in the year 1830, but this does not exist now. After this, the Great Eastern Hotel was established in 1840. At present, the hotel industry globally is earning substantial amount of 400 to 500 billion US dollars annually, but one third of this revenue is being generated through selling the rooms and food and is making up 9% GDP and giving employment to millions all over the world by creating 1 in 11 jobs. This signifies the importance of hospitality industry. In order to give guests an idea of type of accommodation and services, categorization of hotels is a must. The hospitality and tourism industry, national and state tourism organizations, and travel associations also categorize hotels. The categorization helps us to provide an idea regarding the type of hotels at a particular location, to set standards of a hotel, to control hotels in respect of quality of services. As you can see on the screen, the hotels can be classified in many different ways based on vivid criteria for classification. The main bases used are standard classification by the government, size of property, location, target market, levels of services, theme, duration of guest stay, and ownership. Let us know the concept of hotel categorization. The evolution of hotels and their multifarious growth around the world has made it very difficult to categorize hotels under one category. There are variations in architecture, location, facilities, and level of services. Each type of hotel is unique and targets to appease the guests to their satisfaction. Hotels and Restaurants Approval and Classification Committee, commonly known as HRACC, in India grades hotels by the star category 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 star, 5 star deluxe, and 5 star super deluxe. So far, there is no internationally adopted universal classification, but Hotel associations have been making attempts at unifying an internationally recognized classification system so that it becomes a reliable standard, but they have all failed. Different organizations are using a wide variety of rating schemes around the world. Many adopt star system with a greater number of stars indicating greater luxury. By far, the star classification is the one most accepted and used rating system of hotels worldwide. Forbes Travel Guide, formerly Mobile Travel Guide, launched its star rating system in 1958. The American Automobile Association, commonly known as AAA, provides diamonds as standards, then stars to donate hotel rating levels. As being shown on the screen, hotels can be classified into different star categories. This is the standard classification given by the Government of India. The owner of the hotel applies to Indian Tourism Development Corporation, known as ITDC, for the desired category. A team consisting of HRACCC chairman, representatives from the government, and industry associations such as FHRAI. What is FHRAI? It's Federation of Hotel and Restaurant Association of India. Hotel Association of India, known as HAI, Travel Agents Association of India, TRAAI, Indian Association of Tour Operators, IETO, educationists such as Institute of Hotel Management, IHM, inspects the services and award the star category. Countries like Denmark, Belgium, Italy, Greece, Netherlands, Spain, Portugal, and Hungary follow laws defining the hotel rating. In Austria, Germany, and Switzerland, a star category is used as 1 star tourist, 2 stars standard, 3 stars comfort, 4 stars first class, and 5 stars luxury with the mark superior or deluxe to flag extras beyond the minimum defined in the standard, but not enough to move the hotel up to the next tier ranking. The definition of deluxe is very high quality, luxurious, or elegant, and done in a classy and elegant way. In France, the rating is defined by the Public Tourist Board of the department using a 4 star system plus L for Luxus, which has changed to a 5 star system from 2009 onwards. In South Africa and Namibia, the Tourist Grading Council of South Africa has strict rules for a hotel type granting up to 5 stars. Besides star categorization, letter grading from A to F is also used in some countries. We'll discuss the star category hotels one by one. The first, 1 star hotels. These type of hotels are usually small with very limited facilities but full-time operational. The requirements are minimum 10 guest rooms, all rooms with outside window or ventilation. Minimum size of bedroom should be 120 square feet, excluding the bathroom. There should be 25% air conditioning, 25% of rooms attached with bath. Minimum size of bathroom should be 30 square feet. Simple breakfast and dinner with lunch, which may or may not be provided. The cleanliness, maintenance, and comfort are quite acceptable. One example of this type is Hotel Delhi Regency. 2 star hotels are small to medium and provide better services than 1 star category hotels. The characteristics which they must fulfill are minimum 10 guest rooms, all rooms with wide outside window or ventilation. Minimum size of bedroom should be 120 square feet, excluding the bathroom. There should be 25% air conditioning and 75% of rooms should be attached with a bath. Minimum size of bathroom should be 30 square feet. The rooms should be well equipped with attached bath, shower, full meals, and beverage services are provided. An example can be Ace Residency, Delhi. The three-star hotel need to provide facilities on a higher standard than the previous two types. These are spacious hotels with restaurant, room service, toiletries, in-and-seat bath or shower, direct dial telephone, and good standards of comfort. The minimum requirements are 10 guest rooms, all rooms with outside window and ventilation, as already we are discussing. The minimum size of bedroom should be 140 square feet, excluding bathroom, and there should be 50% air conditioning. 140% of rooms should be attached with bath. Minimum size of bathroom should be 36 square feet. An example can be Hotel County and also situated in Kurg, the Hotel County. Now you can see that as we are going forward on the star category, the characteristics are changing as far as the air conditioning is required and the number of attached bathrooms are required or the size of bathroom is required. Four-star hotels exhibit a degree of luxury and quality in architecture, equipment, staff, food and beverages, and every area. The hotels are built and decorated in style to provide comfort to the guests. The en-suite bathroom will include both bath and shower. Earlier, it was only the bathroom, but now, from this onwards, the bathrooms will be en-suite. That means bath and shower both. Provision of laundry, 24-hour room service, and porter are part of facilities. The restaurants may serve multi-cuisine. Minimum 10 guest rooms with at least one window outside and proper ventilation. The minimum size of bedroom should be 140 square feet. 100% air conditioning, 100% rooms with attached bath. Minimum size of bathroom should be 36 square feet. The examples are DoubleTree Hotel, Agra. The five-star hotels are spacious and luxurious hotels providing services of international standard. The quality, comfort, elegance, attention to detail, and personalized services are special characteristics of such hotels. The immaculate planning, implementation, and control are fully exercised by staff and front office, rooms, restaurants, and each corner exhibits the flawless services to guests. The accommodation is very spacious with all amenities provided. Customer care and satisfaction is the ultimate aim of the highly skilled and trained staff. Minimum 10 guest rooms, all rooms with outside window or ventilation. Minimum size of bedroom should be 200 square feet, excluding bathroom. Now note down the size of the bathroom and bedroom, which is changing with each star category. Minimum size, I said, now is 200 square feet as compared to when we started, it was 120. The 100% air conditioning, 100% of rooms with attached bath. Now the bathroom should be en suite, should be 45 square feet. The examples can be the Crown Plaza Hotel, Gurgaon, Le Meridian, Delhi, and so many. The five-star deluxe and super deluxe hotels are quintessential luxury hotels with opulent and expensive decoration and services. The word deluxe denotes luxury of special elegance or fineness and sumptuousness and quality of the highest standards. These category of hotels attract wealthy guests and mostly international guests such as Leela Kempinski, Gurgaon, and Leela Hotel in Kerala. The seven-star hotels are very few. This category has not been graded by any country. It is just being used to indicate exclusively high standards of services. For example, the Hotel Burj Al Arab, which has been described as the first 7-star hotel of the world. This hotel exclusively provides services of one individual servant for every room. Now, Emirates Palace Hotel in Abu Dhabi, the Townhouse Galleria in Milan, Italy, ITC Grand Chola Chennai are also recognized as 7-star hotels besides few others. And the hotels can be divided into small, medium, large, very large, and mega hotels on the basis of size. The small hotels in India usually have 25 or less rooms and categorized as small, whereas in most of the Western countries, hotels with 100 or less rooms are considered as small. These usually provide accommodation with limited meals. The medium hotels with 26 to 100 rooms in India and up to 300 rooms in Western countries are classified as medium hotels. The large hotels in India are the hotels which have 101 to 300 rooms, but Western hotels have 400 to 600 rooms to be categorized as large hotels. The hotels with 300 to 600 guest rooms in India and 600 to 1000 rooms in West are called very large hotels. The mega hotels are hotels with more than 600 rooms in India and 1000 rooms in West. Now, if we want to classify hotels on the basis of location, the hotels can be classified into the city center and commonly known as downtown hotels, the suburban hotels, motels, airport hotels, resorts, flotels, botels, and rotels. Downtown hotels are located in the heart of the city, near the shopping areas or theaters, etc. etc. Room rent is higher than similar hotels situated elsewhere due to high land cost. Such downtown hotels offer many restaurants, bars, nightclubs, along with 24-hour coffee shops and sometimes shopping malls, arcades, cineplexes, and food courts. The buildings are tower shaped due to space crunch, that is horizontal instead of being the vertical instead of being horizontal. Suburban hotels located in the busy areas of city, they have to pay less land cost. Noise pollution is very high. These are built on the outskirts of city and guests like to stay for a longer period of time because the cost is low. As I said, these are situated outside the city. That is why the cost of land is low and the environment is very serene. The motels, as the name suggests, are made of two words, the motor and the hotel. That means those situated on the highway and have been built to provide accommodation, food and beverages, along with parking and refueling facility. The length of stay normally is overnight because these are travelers who are traveling and they only stay for one night and then they move in the morning. The airport hotels, these are located in the vicinity of airport and cater to transit passengers who stay for catching next flight to reach their destination, maybe sometimes due to stopover. The passengers may take a stopover or the ship or the airport airways, they may give a stopover. There is delay or a flight has been cancelled. The crew may also stay due to the convenience and saving time between the flights. The services provided by these hotels are similar to any commercial hotel. Hotel Centaur and Radisson in Delhi are few examples which I can mention to you. Provision of shuttle coach service, round the clock room service, and a large coffee shop are must to cater to the passengers. The resorts are located at natural or man made sites. These cater to people who want to enjoy the nature or are looking for change from daily routine and also health reasons. There are beach resorts, hill resorts, ski resorts. People go for skiing, and there can be safaris. The resorts cater to visitors of the site and are highly seasonal. The Coconut Lagoon at Backwater Kerala, Niagara Falls, Miami Beach resorts are all natural resorts. Whereas resorts at Disneyland, Hollywood studios have been constructed at man made attractions. The flotels, hotels that float on water on ships or liners, top of rafts, rivers, lakes, and cruise ships. These provide food and accommodation to the guest and the thrill of floating on water all along. The botels. Now, the name again tells you botels. When we say botels, the houseboats, Shikara of Kashmir, Ketuvallams of Kerala, and gondola in Venice are all botels. Very big boats, tastefully decorated, float on lakes, river, or sea. You may not have seen these actually, but must have seen in pictures, in magazines, in movies. The good, authentic local food is provided to guests in the boats only. The rotels. Now, when I say rotels, new kind of hotels. These hotels are moving on rails or roads in this time. Good examples are Palace on Wheels and Deccan Odyssey, the Maharaja train, which are trains matching any luxury hotel in decor and service. Hotels can be further classified on the basis of target market into commercial hotels, convention hotels, suite hotels, bed and breakfast hotels, casino hotels, timeshare hotels, and condominiums. As you just saw on the screen, the commercial hotels are also known as business hotels. These cater to business and corporate guests. These are situated in the heart of the city, in the business hub. That is why these are called commercial hotels. These are designed on the European plan with a class facilities, spacious rooms, high speed internet, because the elite class are staying there, conference and business halls. Occupancy on weekdays is higher than weekends because they have to stay there on weekdays only. Guests stay for a short duration, only for their business meetings. The Oberois in Delhi, Taj Palace in Mumbai are some of the examples which you can understand as commercial hotels. The convention hotels, where we arrange the conventions. These are planned and built to hold meetings and conferences. These provide state of the art facilities. What do we mean when we say state of the art facilities? Plenary halls with audio-visual aids, public address system, smaller meeting rooms, a registration area, offices, large dining halls, internet facilities, a very large number of rooms to accommodate all the participants who are attending the conference. Hotel JP Palace, Agra, Hotel Taj Palace, Delhi are typically convention hotels. And if we look at the suite hotels, what are suite hotels? These provide room with a compact kitchen, seating, and limited services. These are suitable for families relocating and executives staying for a longer period, maybe from a fortnight up to 6 months sometimes. Such hotels are homes away from home. These days, most hotels have few suites attached to them which they offer to the clientele. The bed and breakfast hotels is a European concept. These small hotels sometimes owned and run by an individual on his own or on her or his premises. These provide accommodation and breakfast to guests. If you remember, during Commonwealth Games, Delhi people started their houses as bed and breakfast hotels. These are small commercial buildings with 20 to 30 rooms and provide bed for the night as well as breakfast in the morning. The guests stay overnight and are served continental, Indian, or English breakfast as per their choice, but no lunch, no dinner. These are usually low priced. The casino hotels. Now, Las Vegas, we all know. Hotels with mainly gambling facilities. The rooms and restaurants are luxurious but are secondary. Why? Why the rooms and restaurants are secondary? Because the prime activity of guests is gambling. The meals sometimes are served even in the gambling area. And to your utter surprise, breakfast is the most heavy and most sell-out meal in casino hotels. Because the whole night they play and then they are served the breakfast there only. The casinos we find all over the world. Timeshare hotels. Now, students, timeshare hotels are also called vacation interval hotels. Individuals purchase hotel room or suite property. They purchase the rights for a specific period of time in a year, normally a week or a fortnight, or at a particular destination. Then the buyer can occupy the property for that specific period and can rent it out to other person further through the hotel management only for that period. This is sometimes they have more than one owner. Club Mahindra is one example. One main adventure to owners is that they become members of timeshare properties worldwide. The property and time slot can be exchanged between members as per convenience. You may prefer to go in September and the other may prefer to go in December. But suddenly you find that it's difficult to go in September. You change it with some other guest who is ready to shift his December appointment with you. Provide these hotels provide fully furnished living and bedrooms with kitchenette and sometimes dining and a bar. I said the Club Mahindra Holiday Resort properties are good example of timeshare hotels. The condominiums. These are similar to timeshare hotels, but the primary difference is that condominiums are owned by only one owner. The owner informs the management company the time and duration of occupancy. Whereas I said that the timeshare are owned by many owners. The rest of the time, the management can lease or rent property to other guests. The income belongs to managing the company. Owners are supposed to pay the maintenance charges, including cleaning, landscaping, water, and power supply, etc. etc. The RCI stands for Resorts, Condominiums, and Inns Group of Singapore, which is a very popular name in this category. On the basis of level of service hotels, the hotels can be classified into luxury, also known as upmarket hotels, mid range or mid market service hotels, budget or economy hotels. The luxury or upmarket hotels offer world class services, luxurious rooms, fine multi cuisine dining, upscale decor and lounges, exquisite swimming pool, and spacious meeting rooms fitted with modern gadgets. Whereas the mid-market hotels offering modest level of services are there. The staff level is moderate. This is the largest segment of travelers catering to middle income group guests. Limited room service, 24-hour coffee shop, Multi-cuisine restaurant with bar, meeting rooms are essential services. The main difference between upmarket and mid-market hotels is that personalized services are not offered as in luxury hotels. The budget or economy hotels primarily meet basic needs of guests and provide clean, comfortable, and economical accommodation. The guests select such properties basically looking at the low cost. Elaborate services are not offered, but round the clock coffee shop, multi cuisine restaurant, in room telephone, television, pool, shopping arcade may or may not be there. The clientele mainly includes families, group of travelers, retired persons, and vacationers, blah blah. The hotels can also be classified on the basis of theme into heritage hotels, ecotels, and boutique hotels. The heritage hotels are very common in India. Basically, the forts, castles, palaces, havelis, and residences of kings and nawabs constructed prior to 1950 have been converted into hotels, and that is why these hotels are called heritage hotels. There are mainly three types of heritage hotels, as you can see on the screen. Heritage hotels, which were built after 1935, Heritage Classic, which were the residences, lodges, castles, forts, palaces after 1920, and the third category, Heritage Classic Heritage, are hotels and residences, lodges, castles, forts, palaces before 1910. This has been reported by Government of India. The heritage hotels provide a royal treatment to the guests by exquisite ambience, regal rooms, traditional sumptuous meals, entertainment by local folk artists, along with participation in activities of the majestic past. The clear examples we can see are Umaid Palace, Udaipur. The ecotel hotels have been built with the theme of being eco-friendly. They aim at not disturbing and damaging the environment. To achieve this, use of organic food, toiletries, linen, and other products is being practiced. The water and energy production and conservation, waste management, along with the pollution free environment to the guests, are prime concerns of such hotels. The Orchid in Mumbai and Uppal Orchid in Delhi are ecotel hotels. The boutique hotels, the next category, are the type of hotels with a stylized and specialized theme catering to the guests who have luxury, privacy, and personalized services. The visitors to these hotels are in their mid 20s to mid 50s of high income bracket. The Park Hotel at Bangalore is a very good example. The hotel classification on the basis of duration of stay divides hotels into transient, residential, and semi residential hotels. First of all, we'll discuss the transient hotels. As the name transient itself denotes, brief and temporary. The guests stay for short duration, maximum 1 week in these properties. The main features include quick check in, quick check out, comfortable, well equipped rooms, porter service, in room tea, coffee service, coffee shop, bar, and restaurant. The residential hotels are different from what the transient hotels are. Guests stay for a longer time, ranging from 1 month to 2 years in residential hotels. Suite hotels are examples of residential hotels. A lease is signed between guest and hotel owner. The rent is paid on monthly or quarterly basis and not daily. The semi residential hotels are similar to transient and residential hotels both. That means some characteristics of transient and some of residential are included, and these hotels are formed. Now we'll discuss the classification of hotels on the basis of ownership into proprietary hotels, partnership hotels, public limited companies, and franchise hotels. First of all, the proprietary hotels. These are owned by one or more individuals. The size and facilities in the hotel are provided as per the financial capabilities, including bank loan of owners. The ownership is owned by family or legal hire on the death of the owners. The partnership hotel is this is the another method of raising fund to start and run a hotel. Partnership is limited to maximum 20 persons. They can form limited or unlimited companies. In limited company, the partners are liable for debts only to the extent of their investment, and in unlimited companies, the partners are liable for all debts of the company. The public limited companies finance mega projects of hotels, and funds are raised by selling shares of that property to many interested shareholders. Normally, we find these advertisements appearing in the newspapers. The next, the franchise hotels. It is the authorization given by a company to another company to sell its unique products or services and use the franchisor's trademark. The franchisor provides a licensed privilege to do the business, trade secrets, know how, help in staffing, organizing, training, and management. Very big chain of hotels are giving their franchise globally, such as Ramada, Oberoi's, Leela's, etc. So, students, let's summarize what we have learned from this module. There are many types of hotels to serve the guests all over the world. The guest demands are varied based on geographical location, capacity to pay, duration of stay, provision of amenities, and modern concepts in the market. So does the hotel types. We have already discussed that hotels vary on different types. We discussed on the basis of location, on the basis of capacity to pay, on the basis of space provided to you, on the basis of their situation. Where are these situated? There can be resorts, I said. There can be transport catering hotels, such as the botels, the rotels, the airport hotels, as per our convenience, situated near the airports, the rail hotels. I mentioned to you the rail hotels, such as Maharaja train. There can be so many trains which we call as hotels, but they provide you the facilities equivalent to any good hotel. Whatever the hotel type may be, the ultimate aim of each hotel is to provide best services to guests utilizing the available means and resources. We have to explore that what type of hotel a customer is looking forward to, whether the customer belongs to the commercial sector, corporate sector, wants a budget hotel, or any other hotel. So then you explore and you provide them different facilities. Thank you, students. Thanks a lot for patient hearing. God bless you. Keep learning and growing. Thank you once again. God bless you.